Will Watson, ex-probation officer, ex-Labour Party member, was very pleased to see Mr. Blair come into power because he was going to make a wonderful probation service and tackle the causes of crime. He absolutely failed at that, and he filled the prisons, and I'm very disappointed in the quality of the debate so far that none of you disassociated yourself completely from the Blair straw affair. The question is, do you not think that community penalties should be effective rather than tough?
Thank you.
I understand the point the gentleman's made. I actually talked about the fact that we had reduced the number of young people in prison, and I was proud of that. But Tony Blair and Jack Straw introduced in 1997 a new reform called the Youth Justice Board, which was designed to try to make sure that that case for early intervention and prevention was more strongly heard. We've had 30,000 more people join the Labour Party in the last few weeks since the general election. Obviously, the gentleman there is not one of them, I'm reliably informed that that the new coalition government will shortly be abolishing the Youth Justice Board in its entirety, and therefore taking away that voice for early intervention and prevention within the criminal justice system, which I think would be a hugely retrograde step, and if that doesn't make you pay your £39, then I don't know what will.
I'm sorry, you're disappointed. I mean, I actually thought that there was, I thought there was actually a relatively good consensus on this panel that we need to open up the debate about criminal justice and short sentences in this country. Because I sort of heard that in different ways from all the panel members. Certainly, I did from myself. I certainly believe that myself. And so, you know, I think that is what you need to do when you're in opposition. You need to think again about some of the things you did right and some of the things you did wrong. And I've said that I think that debate needs to be opened up.
Will, you asked, should community punishments be effective or tough? I actually think that they can be both, because I think we have to be a bit honest with the public. There is something that they want to see, even though they recognise the common sense. If people have done some pretty appalling things in their community, they do actually want some element of punishment in the criminal justice system. They do want rehabilitation, they do want people not to reoffend, but they want to see that when you've done wrong, something happens, there is some consequence. So I think actually it's not an either or, that you can do both. And I think restorative justice is really tough. And again, we're a pilot for that. Facing people up with their victims, having to be in the same room, having to acknowledge what you've done and having to put it right can be tougher sometimes than having to clean up graffiti and goodness knows what, because you've got to face the consequences of what you've done. And I think restorative justice has an awful lot going for it as well.
On Will's point, I think that you pose the choices you do, I think, because you've ended up in a position where rehabilitation and punishment have become an either-or, when the truth about a sentencing system is it has to do both. And what I hope is that by the end of this meeting you actually want to rejoin the Labour Party. You actually don't have to pay £39 even at the moment. I think you only have to pay £1 in the course of this. Only if you live in Islington. Well, that's something to follow up. But I think there is a way around that.
Finally, I'd say this. I've been going through my notes hurriedly because I was really struck by all my colleagues on the platform were former cabinet ministers, and all my colleagues on the platform were saying prison doesn't work, we bang up too many women, we shouldn't have a punitive system. But we have record numbers of people in prison, and spending on prisons and norms has gone up by a third. So I can only assume that they were off sick when those cabinet ministers